Hello and welcome to Sophomore Grammar video number 2. Sophomore Grammar video number 2 has to do with correcting fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. Alright, so we've reviewed comma rules. Now we're going to talk about correcting fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. So fragments occur when you do not have a complete thought. So let's back up a little bit. To have a complete sentence, in order to have a complete sentence, you need a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. If you're missing any of those elements, then you do not have a complete sentence. Okay? So sentence fragments are usually missing one or more of these items. So for example, have been going to school regularly. Well, this is a fragment because it's missing a subject. Who's been going to school regularly? You don't know, so it's not a complete sentence. So you can write off to the side, missing a subject. The teacher who said that grades don't matter. Okay, the teacher who said that grades don't matter. So there's a subject, the teacher, and she said that the grades don't matter, but there's not really a complete thought. It just says the teacher who said the grades don't matter. Okay, well what did this teacher do? What else is there to it? So this is not a complete thought. And it doesn't have a main verb. So no main verb. All that's happening is you have all you know is that there's a teacher who said that grades don't matter, but it's not really a complete thought. It leaves you hanging. You don't know where the sentence is going. Next one, because I love to read and write. Okay, so you have a subject and you have a verb, but because I love to read and write is not a complete thought. Sorry, this right here should be not a complete thought. So same with this one, because I love to read and write. This is not a complete thought. Okay? So because it's not a complete thought, it cannot be a complete sentence, even though it has a subject and a verb. So, I'm sorry, I apologize. I skipped this second example right here. Helping Jackie decorate her car for the funeral. Okay, who's helping Jackie decorate her car for the funeral? Again, this phrase, helping Jackie decorate her car for the funeral, you don't have a main subject. You don't know who's the one doing the decorating. You don't know who's the one doing the helping. So, A, there's no subject, and it's not a complete thought. Not a complete thought. All right. So to correct fragments, you need to transform the fragment into a complete thought. And there are many ways that you can do that. So you need to transform the fragment into a complete thought. And again, there are many ways to transform the fragment into a complete thought. Let's just take this one. The teacher who said that grades don't matter. To make that into a complete thought, you really just need to add another verb and more to it. You just need to add more information to it. So I can change this sentence into the teacher who said that grades don't matter. I can change that to the teacher who said that grades don't matter still worries about her students, or whatever. That might not be the best sentence. Or I can even say something like, the teacher who said that grades don't matter tends to not worry about what the students are achieving on standardized tests. The idea is to make this a complete, the idea is that here you have a fragment that's not a complete thought. To make it a complete thought, you're going to have to add another verb and more information to it. So here's an example. So I can change that to the teacher who said that grades don't matter doesn't care about standardized tests. So there, you've corrected the fragment. You've given it a verb and you've given it a main verb, does not care, or care. You've given it a main verb and you've given it a complete thought. So the teacher who said that grades don't matter does not care about standardized tests. Now we have a complete thought. We have a complete sentence. We have a subject, we have a main verb, care, and it's a complete thought. All right, moving on. So comma splices and run-on sentences are caused by punctuation errors and corrected in similar ways. So a comma splice occurs when two independent clauses, so in other words, groups of words that can stand alone as sentences, are joined together by only a comma. Okay, so here's an example of a comma splice. Lazy Lou heard that a particular machine would do half his work. He ordered 2. So here, I have 2 complete sentences. So go ahead and underline that. So 2 complete sentences. So Lazy Lou heard that a particular machine would do half his work. So that's an independent clause. And I have another independent clause. He ordered 2. So I have 2 independent clauses, but there's nothing separating them. There's nothing separating them but a comma. So remember, on our last video, we learned that if you have 2 independent clauses, if you have a compound sentence, you need to connect the 2 independent clauses with a comma plus a conjunction. All right, so this sentence is a comma splice because the clauses on both sides of the comma are independent, meaning they stand alone as complete sentences. So again, if you have 2 independent clauses, you have to separate it by a comma plus a conjunction. A comma alone is not enough. So if you have 2 independent clauses, you need a comma and a conjunction. And conjunction. So to correct this sentence right here, Lazy Lou heard that a particular machine would do his work. He ordered 2. You need a comma and you need a conjunction. So I'm just going to add the conjunction and. So when you see a comma splice, when you see 2 independent clauses separated by only a comma, to make it correct, you need to add in a coordinating conjunction. Okay? All right, next up. A run-on sentence occurs when 2 or more independent clauses are joined without punctuation or conjunctions. Okay, so a run-on sentence is just where you have several sentences combined with no punctuation separating them. So look here. Here's an example of a run-on sentence. I bought a gas grill 2 weeks ago. I like to cook every day. So this sentence is a run-on because it can be separated into 2 sentences. So I have 2 sentences right here. I bought a gas grill 2 weeks ago. So that's a complete sentence. And then I have another complete sentence right here. I like to cook every day. So to correct this run-on, all I would need to do is to add a period in between the 2 sentences. So add a period in between the 2 complete sentences. Or what you could also do is separate the 2 sentences with a comma and conjunction. So or separate the 2 with a comma plus conjunction. All right. Okay, so you have practice problems out here that you can do. They're asking you to rewrite fragments and to rewrite comma splices and run-on sentences. So I just want to reiterate because I don't know how clear I was in explaining fragments. So fragments, you basically don't have a complete thought. So you're rewriting these fragments to where it has a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. Whereas these comma splices and run-on sentences, you're rewriting it to where it's grammatically correct. So that means If you have two independent clauses, to make it grammatically correct, you need to make sure the two independent clauses are separated by a comma and a conjunction. All right, so that's just a review from freshman year. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.